This is Dan Fagella here, and in this quick CLV Boost tutorial, we're going to be talking about decreasing conversion friction, particularly in any kind of lead capture or squeeze page situation. Whether you're trying to get somebody to sign up for a software program, whether you're aiming to get somebody on the phone for a phone appointment, or whether you're aiming to sell online, if you're capturing leads, it's important that you include some of the fundamentals to ensure that people understand your value proposition and ultimately are at the highest likelihood of converting when offer time comes around, whether you're trying to get them on the phone, whether you're trying to get the credit card out, whatever the case may be. So we're going to begin by looking at the lead capture page. Early on in the lead capture page, if you have a squeeze page of any kind, oftentimes the value proposition of a squeeze page is tucked away in some foreign paragraph or a little bullet point hidden away somewhere. Ideally, the real kind of biggest aspects of any given lead capture page are going to be your headline, your subheadline, and potentially the bullet points in your body copy that sort of convey what somebody's going to get when they opt in. Now, it's important that your headline conveys a major value proposition that legitimately resonates with your prospect. So if you're giving them something or you're delivering some kind of a benefit, is this something that they're ultimately really going to care about? So if you're selling in the fitness space, is this some kind of information that somebody feels like they could get anywhere on the web, or do you have something cool and unique that they could only get on this page? A lot of people build a lead capture page as if by simply having a lead capture page, people will opt in simply because they've landed on it. Now, you might get some minute percentage of people to opt in, but in the age of Google, when people can find exactly what they want right when they want by simply typing it into Google, you really do have to have something unique here to give somebody an excuse to actually provide you with their email address. So what is the unique white paper? What is the particular problem that you solve? What is the video series that you've created that nobody else has? What is the demo that you've put together that you can't find anywhere else? And why is that so darn important to whoever has just landed on your page? Conveying that clearly, that value proposition clearly in your headline, your subheadline, and your bullet points is massively, massively important. Also ensuring on that lead capture page that it's very clear what happens next. If somebody doesn't know what happens when they submit, then they may be more tentative about clicking that submit button. Is it, click here to go to our demo page? Is it click here to download the white paper? Is it send me the video series? It should be relatively evident what is going to happen right after I submit this web form. If that isn't blatantly clear, then we're in some serious trouble in terms of aiming to garner conversion. If you really want to get people to convert, to not only submit the web form, but feel comfortable doing it, and ultimately kind of get yourself to as many conversions as you can, by golly, they better know what's going to happen to them after they submit said form. Similarly, you want to convey why they actually care. What are the real intangible benefits? Your general value proposition should encompass this, but ideally, the body copy of your landing page should include particular benefits that they'll glean just from filling out this form. So you want to convey, hey, by doing this alone, and by watching these simple videos alone, by reading this white paper alone, by checking out this demo alone, by getting in this introductory appointment alone, you'll get bam, 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 immediate benefits. So again, we're conveying a unique value proposition that you cannot find on Google, and we're telling them very clearly some tangible, immediate benefits that they'll glean simply by taking action and submitting that form. And so long as they know what's going to happen next, and that's not a big surprise, then we might find ourselves in a good place and have folks submitting feeling confident and feeling eager to get what they're there for in the first place. Next up, thank you page. So ideally, you'd be surprised how many thank you pages there are out there where people are, whether it's getting an appointment, whether it's getting a newsletter subscriber, someone to sign up for a white paper, where people submit the web form and all it does is erase the fields and it kind of refreshes the same page and they just land on the same page. Or they land on the same page and there's a little green text where the web form was and it says, thanks. That's somewhat confusing, right? What happens next? What do I do next? What's supposed to go down? In general, across the board, you ought to have thank you pages that go after each lead capture page. The question you want to ask yourself is, what is the ideal marketing message that should be fed to this person after they take this lead capture action? So what is the ideal marketing message? Oftentimes, if you go to a company like HubSpot, who's very, very good at lead pages, again, this is a publicly traded software company, they will have people opt in for a white paper, and the immediate next step is to sign up for a demo of their software, or is to sign up for some kind of audit where you talk to somebody on the phone. So they're always inching people closer to conversion just by the thank you page alone, taking them to the next logical conversion step just by being on that thank you page alone. They're clearly painting that picture. Similarly speaking, providing people with the next steps is important. If when somebody opts in, the next logical step is to book an appointment with you, then you can go for that. If the next logical step might be to use the $20 coupon that they just got by opting in to go check out your selection of fancy coffee brewers or baby strollers or whatever you sell online, then maybe that's the next step you want to prompt them towards. It doesn't necessarily matter so long as you give them an immediate next step that they ought to take. What is that next step that they should take if they were an ideal customer, and how can you present that easily to them? Next up, social proof and or future benefits. So somebody just provided you with their email address. Do they have any idea of, are they being reaffirmed of why that was a good idea? Are they being reaffirmed of why that was a good idea? Are they feeling confident that they could and should open your emails time and time again because you're so darn valuable to them? If the answer is no and your thank you page just says, thanks, then you might be in trouble. The idea here is to convey all the other folks just like them who you've helped. Maybe you can brag about the number of users you have. Maybe you can use testimonials from other companies or consumers that have loved your product just like they will. And then in addition, you can talk about the future benefits. Hey, thanks so much for getting in on our blankety blank white paper. Now that you've opted in for a white, or now that you've gotten our white paper, you'll be able to hear from us about such and such, where each week we'll be sharing our absolute best such and such to help you such and such. We've helped thousands of small businesses around the world do such and such, and we're excited to help you too. Check out some of the of what some of our customers from around the world have had to say about our amazing software program, whatever the case may be. So can we talk about what they're now going to gain, not only from going to their inbox and getting whatever they opted in for, but now that they're connected to you, in other words, now that they're subscribed to your email list, can we convey the benefit as to why they should open and open and open and open time and time again? Why open your emails? What is your let's hammer back in the general benefit that you're going to bring to them. You're going to constantly bring X to their inbox, and it's going to bring X benefit to their life. Is that being conveyed? Because if it isn't, they might be less likely to go to their inbox immediately and open. And the next email that comes around, they might again be less eager to go to their inbox and open. So we want to make sure that we reiterate the social proof, the fact that other people have gleaned so many amazing benefits, and reiterate the benefits they're now going to get as a subscriber. Now that they're plugged into you, now that they're receiving your messages, they're going to be receiving X benefit to their inbox, and you can't wait to help them or see them succeed or whatever the case may be. And lastly here, of course, there's a lot of additional elements. We're just talking about initial squeeze page fundamentals. The third factor here that less people think about than the first two is our initial email. So in the initial email, if you just got somebody to opt in, whether it's for your e-commerce program, whether it's for your service business, whether it's for your consultancy or law firm, really does not matter. It doesn't matter one bit. Your subject line and body copy for your initial email should be obvious, should be blatantly obvious. In other words, if you sell baby strollers online, your first subject line when they sign up for your baby stroller thing shouldn't be 20% off everything on stock or thanks so much, Jane. It should be something very, very obvious that ideally should include your brand name and maybe address what they actually got in for. Here's some examples. Your $20 off coupon from Strollers R Us. That would be the ideal subject line, right? Because they just opted in for that exact thing, and when they go to their inbox, they immediately trust, oh, this is him. This is not a pitchy promo email. This is not a spammy random email. This is exactly what I asked for from this brand. So they're not confused. They're not going to delete you. They're not going to confuse you for spam. They see the name again. They see what they opted in for again. And that's going to give you the best chance of not only building trust, but garnering that first email open. And bear in mind, if you get somebody to opt in on your web form and they don't open email 1, do you think that helps or hurts their likelihood of opening email 2? Probably hurts. Probably hurts email 3 too. Probably hurts email 4, etc. So we really want to get that first email open. Let's make the subject line obvious to what they opted in for and to your actual brand. In other words, the website, the URL, the company that they interacted with online in the first place. Another example might be, your SaaS metrics white paper from, Kissmetrics or whatever the case may be, right? That would be easy enough as well. Again, subject line should be very, very obvious, and your body copy as well. Your body copy should thank them for getting in on whatever they got in for, and it should give them whatever you had promised. So delivers what promised. Another thing to include in our initial email: if people opt in for a white paper, don't give them the white paper on email 2. Don't send them a thank you email and then a white paper email a day or 2 later. They opted in for the white paper. They're either going to trust you and like you and believe that you deliver the benefits you promise, or they're not. Ideally here, we'd like to be able to deliver that whatever we had promised them above the fold in the email. So they shouldn't have to scroll to the PS to download what you promised you would deliver to them. You should thank them, acknowledge that they connected with you, and give them what they had initially asked for. In addition to that, in the initial email, I often like to, whether I'm working with a service-based business, and I've worked with all kinds of service-based businesses, or whether we're working with an e-commerce folks or the internet marketing world, include some semblance of the company's story or founder's story, depending on the size of the business, and tie that into the value proposition. In other words, I want to sit in their mind for the benefits that we want to own. So if I want to be the one and only software company that they come to help them with their day trading online, like if they're trading stocks, then and I believe that my company creates the simplest day trading dashboards in the world for beginner traders, then I want to talk about a very, since we were founded in such and such and such, XYZ company has been focused on creating the absolute simplest blah, 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 blah. We found that most software were too complicated and only, required you to have years of financial experience before you such and such. And we're proud to say that blah, 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 we've focused specifically on serving newer traders and making trading more simple and easier to grasp, whatever the case may be, right? And we hope that this white paper will help clear up some of your initial day trading hurdles. And we look forward to sharing our future insights with you on such and such and such, whatever the case may be. So again, connecting with your company, again, referencing your company, but not referencing your company as if it's important in and of itself, because it's really not. Referencing your company because it is tied to a particular benefit that they will only find with you. What is the benefit that you will own in the marketplace, and how can you clearly convey that this is the one that you're going to, in fact, own? So it's important to be able to really, truly convey that. And then also pre-framing future benefits. So in general, in email number 1, it's best practice, I would say, to include what is coming up next. If you know exactly what's coming up next, you can say, hey, in our next message, I'll be sharing with you such and such and such. In the next message, I'll send you video 2 where we'll break down such and such and such, and you'll get these benefits out of it. But if you don't know what's next, and they're just going to be getting a newsletter, for example, then you can say, hey, we hope you enjoyed this white paper. We hope you enjoy this video. We hope you enjoy whatever you've given them. In the future, we'll be sharing with you our absolute best such and such and such and such, and this will help you in blankety blank blank ways. So give them an expectation of how often you'll be in touch with them, and give them an expectation of what benefits and what kind of content you'll be delivering. In other words, why should they open your future emails? Why? What are the future benefits? If they stay plugged in with you, if they keep reading your stuff good things are going to happen to them. What are those good things? If we don't identify them, if we don't get them to connect with them, if we don't get them to resonate with those benefits and to understand that you deliver them, then by golly, we're going to have an awful hard time getting people to continuously read your stuff, for lack of better terms. So hopefully this short tutorial was useful for everybody out there. Again, this is about decreasing initial conversion friction. You might think that that all has to do with the back end and your crazy software stuff. A lot of the time, the initial front end landing page, the thank you page, the email are either conveying or not conveying the core benefits that are ultimately going to pull the mental trigger to get somebody to buy or not, whether that's on the phone, with their credit card online, whatever the case may be. And today's video is about clarifying some of those initial concepts and making sure that you're including these key tenets and these key factors into your initial conversion funnel to reduce that friction. So I hope this was helpful for everybody tuned in.